Hello everyone and welcome to our Week 2 battle against Aaron 2420, coach of the Calgary Infernapes here in the GBA D-League Season 4. Now, we had tragedy strike when we were trying to do this battle. I actually updated my Windows 10 on my computer right before the battle. We do the battle. Turns out, yay! Windows 10 update changed XSplit and decided to turn the microphone that I'd always been defaulting to a different microphone. Now that would normally be fine. I have a webcam, I have an internal mic, I have the normal lapel mic that I use for recording, I have a headset mic. All of those would have recorded the audio just fine. But it picked the Elgato sound capture tray, which doesn't have a microphone and isn't a microphone, but it picked that as the default microphone. So it didn't actually record any of my audio, and I didn't notice till after the battle. And it decided to change the default audio input to the Elgato as well, but this is my 3DS, so it doesn't go through my Elgato. So I actually didn't record any of the game audio either. So, thankfully, instinctively, I always save the battle video just in case. I've recorded the battle video. We are going to do a little bit of a post-com this time. Hopefully you guys aren't too upset. I'm actually just kind of really sad because this was an absolutely fantastic battle. On the edge of my seat. I was actually super excited for the commentary of it. But anyway, I won't stall you any longer. I hope you guys enjoy, and I will do a little post-com for you, and we will get this thing going. So as you guys can see, I am going to be bringing Mega Venusaur, Bisharp, Excadrill, Victini, Milotic, and Gardevoir, and that is going to be matched up against his Donphan, Kangaskhan, Thundurus Eye, wow, that was really hard, Hydreigon, Hariyama, and Bronzong. Now, as I'm looking at this, I'm looking at it, I'm saying, okay, my goal is to get Excadrill in. It's a Scarfed Excadrill. I want to sweep with it at the end of the game, so I need to get some damage on stuff. I have to watch out for that Thundurus Eye, obviously being the only thing immune to my Mold Breaker Earthquake. But I definitely want to make sure that thing can handle some of those threats. Now, Mega Venusaur is going to be big this game. Milotic is going to be big this game for taking some hits, but I think that Excadrill getting in at the right time is going to be the way that this match is going to need to go. Now, I do encourage you guys, while we are letting this get started, to go watch Aaron's side of the battle. His commentary also was great. We ended up having a discussion on Discord at the end of it, being like, oh my god, my heart was pounding, I was sweating, I couldn't breathe, I was on the edge of my seat. So you'll see how this battle turns out at the end of this, but we are going to lead with our Mega Venusaur, as he is going to come out, and lead with Michelin, the Donphan. I loved that nickname when I saw it. I was talking about it in my commentary. So, obviously, at this point, we are going to Mega Evolve. We have a great matchup here against the Donphan. I was thinking, okay, maybe I'll Giga Drain. It's good against the Donphan, but he's probably not going to stay in on me. He's probably wants to set up his rocks here, so I'm just going to go for the Leech Seed, see what he's going to do. If he does stay in and set up his rocks, it's not the end of the world. If he doesn't, though, and he switches out into something like the Bronzong to take the Giga Drain, then Leech Seed is perfect. So we are going to click that. We are going to get that up on his Bronzong here, as he does decide to go into that, which is a totally fine switch in my opinion. Bronzong does decently well to check Mega Venusaur on the switch. Although it doesn't really threaten me, I didn't have anything to hit it this week either, so I decided to go out into my Milotic, which is more of an answer to Bronzong than usual. If it is a physical Bronzong, like with Gyro Ball or something, then I can definitely take those hits. If it is a special Bronzong, then obviously Milotic is super specially bulky. And between the Leech Seed here and him not having any entry hazards, there's really no risk to doing that. So at this point, I'm going to go for the Scald. And get some damage off, kind of scout out what this Bronzong set's going to run. It's going to be running Stealth Rocks and Toxic, so unfortunately that's not what I want to see. However, this is a Marvel Scale Milotic, and Toxic with, I talk about it in my team builder, but Toxic is actually not the end of the world. I would have preferred, obviously, to be burned, but Toxic's not terrible. If I'm at full or close to full, I can actually take a +2 Double Edge from Mega Kangaskhan if he does have Power Up Punch or something. And we are going to click Scald again one more time. This time we get the burn, sort of meaningless burn here. And he's going to try to set up the Trick Room. So I'm like, oh, never mind. Not a meaningless burn at all. That burn is actually massive because between the Leech Seed damage and then the burn, it's actually going to take him out a turn earlier. That's not what I wanted to see at all. I don't want him to get an extra turn of Trick Room. And yes, I'm as close to full HP as I'm possibly going to get. But he is going to get this switch into his Hariyama here. And I'm like, oh, is he Guts? What do I do? Honestly, I don't think it matters. Let me click Toxic here. And he goes for the brilliant play. He goes for the substitute. And I click Toxic. It fails, obviously. And we find out right away after that he is, in fact, Guts. And I would have rather Toxic than burn this thing. But that is why you run that Flame Orb. And the substitute was a great play under the Trick Room. Obviously, he outslows me And so he goes for this huge close combat. That's adamant. That's just, I mean, guts damage. And thank God we got Toxics, because otherwise that would have just taken us straight out. But instead we do survive. I do have the Rocky Helmet. I go for the recover here. Kind of scouting out how much damage he's going to do to me. Is he max attack adamant? And the answer to the question is absolutely yes. So my Lodic at this point has the Rocky Helmet, but I'm taking a lot of toxic damage. He's taking some burn damage. I say, hey, you know what? My Lodic, it does a lot against his team, but it really is only for this and the Mega Venusaur, or not Mega Kangaskhan, and it sort of was for this, and now it really can't handle it. So I clicked recover again just to see if I would survive, or if he could try to predict or something. He doesn't. Takes more Rocky Helmet damage. He's at -2 special defense now, and regular defense now. He's taking burn damage as well, so he's actually down to about a quarter. And Venusaur is safe to come in. Giga Drain will definitely do 25% to this thing, just because, I mean, he's taken this much damage. Now, he does have Facade, which is absolutely terrifying. I saw this and I was like, oh my god, how much is it going to do? But it is a very physically defensive, very physically defensive Mega Venusaur. So at this point, he's taking himself down with his burn damage, and we're still trying to stall out the Trick Room. So I am just going to click Synthesis right away, just to make sure that I stay healthy, and there goes the Trick Room. So we do actually have a Venusaur that's going to outspeed him. I get the Giga Drain off, which is actually going to get me back to full HP, which is fantastic. I'm a little bit worried he's going to try to do some crazy flying or psychic type move. I don't know what's about to happen, but he just goes for Facade again, so that's totally okay. Without the Trick Room, this thing is a lot less threatening to me. He's down to the red health. So we're in good shape. We've dealt with the Hariyama the way we needed to deal with the Hariyama. I knew this thing was going to be a problem for my team, but Venusaur and Milotic were the ones who were supposed to handle it, and they did their job there. So in comes Hydreigon. Now this Hydreigon obviously eats a Giga Drain just fine, and I take a look, I'm like, is he Scarfed? Because if he's not Scarfed, my Victini outspeeds. Now his choice banded Victini, so I wanted to make sure that I did outspeed his Hydreigon if he's not Scarfed. And we do see the leftovers, so a little bit bulkier. I was like, alright, so maybe he's just a bulky Hydreigon. He goes for a Dark Pulse. It doesn't do as much as I expected to. So yeah, we're taking a look, we're like, alright, this is not super specially offensive. It is reasonably specially offensive, but he's got some bulk investment clearly. He's got the leftovers for longevity. So I'm sitting there thinking, okay, well, Venusaur can handle this thing if he's just going to do that. So I'm just going to click Leech Seed here and see what we get. And Taunt. So naturally I can't use Leech Seed after he clicks Taunt, so I'm stuck trying to deal with a Hydreigon without any of my support moves. Now Giga Drain and Sludge Bomb are both on this set, so I figure, hey, Sludge Bomb's going to do about 40% to a Hydreigon. Let's see what we can do, handle it. So we click Sludge Bomb, he switches out into his Mega Kangaskhan, it gets a crit just over 50%, and I'm sitting there like, wow, that's fantastic, let's do it again. Now, we don't get the poison on the Kangaskhan, we get the crit instead. We go then, oh, sorry, I don't do it again here. I go out into Victini here, knowing that this is a pretty good time to get into Victini. His Kangaskhan really doesn't threaten me, and he goes back into Hydreigon. So at this point, I don't want to be in here. I don't want to click V-Create or anything like that. I just want to U-turn out. I don't want to have anything to do with that. So he goes out into his Donphan. I'm like, is he Rocky Helmet Donphan? Nope. So we get the U-turn out, we do get the switch initiative here, and go out into my Gardevoir. Now, Gardevoir here does trace the Sturdy. Unfortunately, because of the Stealth Rocks, that doesn't end up helping us. And we do have to deal with this Donphan that has leftovers, as we can see. So his team, real bulky this week, rocking all sorts of defensive investment. So we are going to click Energy Ball on this Gardevoir, trying to get a ton of damage off. I expect this to kill. It doesn't quite take it out, and you're going to see that's going to be a trend this game, with me leaving him on these little slivers of red health, and him leaving me right there too. So both of us leaving each other right on the tiniest sliver of health, and Donphan gets that leftovers recovery. I'm like, oh god, what does he have? He has the Ice Shard, he takes out my Gardevoir. So unfortunately, we weren't able to get the kill with the Energy Ball after the U-turn, which is so surprising and shocking, and I tried to say those words at the same time, and it really didn't work right there. So shock-prizing, and instead we're going to go out into my Bisharp here. Bisharp does outspeed this Donphan naturally. There's nothing he can do about it. I figure I'll go for the Sucker Punch in case he tries to Ice Shard. I figure I'm not going to worry about the Ice Shard because he's going to Earthquake, so I'm going to go for the Low Kick in case he switches out. Sorry. That's what I meant. Also, he has no idea what item I'm going to be holding as a result of my Bisharp's Low Kick not doing Life Orb recoil or anything like that. So it comes back, it comes in with his Thunderous, and because I don't have my rocks up like I would have wanted to, I do go for the Sucker Punch. Now, at this point, I should have gone for my rocks. I knew he was going to switch out. I knew there was no way he stayed in right here. Should have set up my Stealth Rocks right here. Instead, I just click Sucker Punch again to try to get damage off. I think that was a huge misplay on my part. But we end up trying to, you know, dig ourselves out of that. So instead, we do get a kill on this Hariyama with our Bisharp, going for that Sucker Punch in case he has the Bullet Punch or something. Obviously, Fake Out would have out-prioritized me, but Bullet Punch would not have. So now at this point, he goes out into Hydreigon, and I don't want to deal with an Earth Power or something from this thing. So I decided I'm going to switch out, and I know what can handle this. I know Mega Venusaur can switch in pretty safely. I am healthy again, so let's see what Mega Venusaur is going to be able to do to this Hydreigon. He's going to go for a Workup, and I was like, whoa, rock at that Gen 5 Hydreigon set. Workup, what a crazy tech move for this thing. He must be mixed with like Superpower, so I'm like thinking, you know, okay, he's got Taunt, he's got Workup, he's got Dark Pulse, probably Superpower would be my guess, because that's what I've seen so far, so, and that would handle my Bisharp or my Excadrill or something like that, or Gigalith, so I go for the Sludge Bomb. Now this is the point at which I say, okay, I need to get some damage on this thing. How much is this +1 Dark Pulse going to do? A huge amount. So I'm like, okay, well, here comes the Sludge Bomb. We're going to get this thing down to low where Victini can take it out. So we're going to be in a good shape here to let him take my Venusaur out. I can't switch out right now. Let me just keep clicking Sludge Bomb. And he shows us his last move is Roost. So if I had just stayed in with my Bisharp, there's nothing he could have done to it. He has Dark Pulse, Taunt, Roost, and Workup, and I could have stayed in with Bisharp, I could have low kicked, and this thing would be dead right now, but instead, he tricks me, he bluffs me, and he gets me out, and he makes me do exactly what he wants me to do. So meanwhile, I'm just still here clicking Sludge Bomb. He's trying to Roost off some damage at this point, and he is doing that, but I'm like, okay, if I can get the Poison, then Roost isn't going to do enough. It's going to bring him down to 50% every time, so he's not going to have any reason to Roost. So here, let me click my 4th or 5th Sludge Bomb on this Hydreigon. Nothing yet, nothing on the Kanga, nothing on the Hydreigon. No Roost, no Poison at all. So he goes for the Dark Pulse and takes out my Mega Venusaur. I cannot believe that I didn't get a Poison there. And at this point, I'm like, okay, well, that's what happens. That's the hacks. That's the game we play. So let me just go for the U-turn. It should do about 75% to this Hydreigon. It doesn't quite look like it's at 75%. Turns out he's at 78%. And he does actually take the U-turn from my Victini and another sliver of health. So he's down in the red again. We're going to go out into Bisharp here. At this point, we just got to sack it off. We know he's going for Dark Pulse here. And I'm like, you know what? I did what I needed to do, I think. Everything is weakened, so let me get my Excadrill in and start doing things that Excadrill wants to do. That is the best answer to his team that I have. Now, obviously, at this point, I know that my Victini outspeeds his Hydreigon, so I'm going to go into that before I reveal that my Excadrill is Scarfed. It's going to be able to take out the Hydreigon or give me that ability to scarf myself into something else on whatever he switches in. So I'm going to go into the Victini, get rid of the Hydreigon, finally. Jesus, that thing could have died so long ago, but instead I take it out now, and Victini's going to switch out into Excadrill. Now at this point, Excadrill he's got 50% of his Kangaskhan, and he's got like 50% on his Thundurus. And I have the Rock Slide, I have the Earthquake, I have everything I need. I'm like, alright, let me go for my Earthquake here and take out a Kangaskhan, because I am Scarfed, so I'm going to outspeed his Mega Kangaskhan. He might Fake Out, whatever, like the damage doesn't matter on my Excadrill at all. And so I go for the Earthquake, and I'm like, okay, this looks like it should do about 55% if he's minimally invested, and instead he's got a ton of investment, and instead he survives again on just the tiniest sliver of health, and he goes for the Earthquake. Now the first hit of this Earthquake brings me down all the way to 18, but I know that there's a second hit coming, and it comes, and there goes down my Excadrill. It's a crit, it does not matter. And Excadrill goes down. At this point, I'm like, well, if he's got any sort of priority in Sucker Punch, then I am toast with my 1 HP Victini. It's banded, not scarfed, so his Thundurus will outspeed. And I go for the Zen Headbutt. He doesn't have priority on this thing, so I take this out, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. If his Thundurus doesn't have enough speed to outspeed my Jolly Victini, then who knows what's going to happen at this point. So we're going down to Victini with 1 HP, staring down his Thundurus with just over 50%. I know Zen Headbutt doesn't kill, so I'm going to need a flinch here, but instead he does have enough investment to outspeed my Victini and take me out, finishing the game in a very close 1-0. I think there's a couple plays in there that obviously I could have done differently and could have gone better, but shoutouts to Aaron2420. If you have not seen the Calgary Infernapes play, this is the second time we've played him, and both games have gone to a 1-0. Last one in my favor and this one in his, so last time I got a crit that mattered against a Zapdos. This time I could not get the Sludge Bomb hack, so 1-1. This is a phenomenal matchup. I really enjoyed that battle. I hope you guys did too. I apologize for the fact this had to be post-commed, but thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys for week 3 as we take on the Texas Rangers, coached by Randy, and that's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you guys are excited. Take care, everybody.